As a loser senior year high school student, I made it into Berklee, and I have some advantages and tips that I use to get in, and I want to share those with you. And these tips will be great if you're looking to get into a top conservatory or music school. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Carlos. I'm a composer and music student based in Chicago, and on this channel we explore how to lead more productive lives as composers and musicians. And if you're a prospective music student or you want to study music in school and you don't really know how to set yourself apart from the rest of the competition, and you don't really know the tips and what the colleges actually look for, then this is what I'm going to be sharing in this video and the things I use, as well as other tips from different websites and other music students that I know. And if you want to skip to the different parts of this video, there will be timestamps in the description below, as well as on the time bar with the new chapters feature. 1. Application phase. And this part's about applying to the actual school that your music school is a part of. And a lot of these schools have early action deadlines where if you submit all your required materials by a specific deadline, you can get your acceptance letter as well as your scholarship things well ahead of everyone else. And at this point in the game, hopefully you have decent grades, a good GPA, and good test scores for your SAT or ACT. A lot of the schools are test optional these days, but if you have good scores, that'll also boost you up in the rankings and hopefully give you a better chance at getting into these schools. And a lot of the schools also have these essays where you can write a personal statement based on a prompt, or maybe it's a freestyle essay. But this is really important that you actually pay a lot of attention to and give good thought, as this will probably set you apart from the other competition. And there's a lot of important things you have to add to this essay to make you stand apart from the competition. But just make sure that you're being honest, but also representing yourself well and making yourself seem like a good music student that can do their work and has good career aspirations. Now, if you're a viewer of this channel, you may know I did not go to Berklee even though I was accepted. And if you want to know why the heck I made that decision, then go ahead and check my new podcast, which I just released pretty recently, called The Composer's Journal. On this podcast, I have my free-form thoughts as well as expanded discussions from topics from this channel, all about the composing world, productivity, and creativity. If you want to learn more about me as well as the advice of other composers and leading musicians, then go ahead and check out the podcast if you are interested. And the podcast is pretty much available on every platform, so just go ahead and check that out in the link below. 2. Pre-screening phase. And a lot of time for these music schools, you'll have this pre-screening audition where it's actually like a pre-audition to the actual audition if you make it to that step. But this step is all about kind of filtering out all the candidates that are not really up to it. And this is kind of what you have to do before you move on to the other steps of the application. For composing students like me, we had to submit portfolio pieces based on some requirements. Either it's like instrumentation based, but you have to submit your best work to these portfolios, and then the composition faculty will review it and then decide to put you on to the next step of the audition. And of course, choose your best representative pieces that you composed. Again, there's some requirements that you have to follow, so just pay attention to the rules on the school website. And if you're just any other musician trying out for these music schools, you'll often have to submit a recording if you're playing on some repertoire requirement, and just make sure you dress nice and it's in a nice location with decent lighting. 3. Audition/interview phase. So if you make it past the pre-screen audition, then great job. It's time to move on to the actual audition. For composing students, there wasn't really an audition that other music students have to do. It's more of an interview where the compositional faculty will give you an interview either virtually or in person, and this is where you can really show your colors. The questions can range about your compositional style to your process, influences, as well as other career aspirations that you have and what you hope to gain from going to that institution. So for other musicians, you'll have an audition that you'll have to perform on your instrument for the faculty, and these are usually in person, but if you have the option, try to do virtually if you can, or really if you prefer to be in person, choose that, but pick your poison if you have the option. And of course, there's pros and cons to submitting a recorded audition versus doing one live, so just make a list of what you prefer and then stick to that. And after this, you'll probably be interviewed anyway by the faculty. And if you're nervous about this interview or the audition, just have a lot of practice beforehand. You can talk in front of family and friends just to do a mock audition. or interview, and that'll hopefully help calm you and soothe the nerves before you actually have to go into it. So practice before you go in. 4. Acceptance or rejection. After your audition, check when you will get your acceptance letter. And these will be listed on the school website to see whether you got in or you didn't get in. And if you followed the aforementioned steps and you got in, congratulations, you are going to music school. But if you didn't get in, then don't be too bummed out about it. Hopefully you had other safety schools that you applied and got accepted to just in case the school did not work out. And try not to be too down in the dumps because these processes are pretty biased and the judges can have unfair critiques and things like that. So you can be unlucky at times, so don't try to put yourself down too much. Do you have any other tips that I didn't mention in this video that can help aspiring music students? Leave them in the comment section down below so we can start a discussion. So I hope you got some newfound confidence about applying to music school, and you can get some of the tips I had from this video and apply it to your own application process if you're going to be going into music anytime soon. And I really hope you have that confidence to tackle your dreams and accomplish whatever you want to if you just set your mind out to it and you do the work. Now, if you're already in music school or you're applying to music school and want to get a head start, then go ahead and check out my great video on how I improve my ear training. And since ear training is one of the most essential parts to being a musician, this video will surely help you out. And if you want, check out my new composing podcast called The Composer's Journal, all about composing and productivity, creativity, and more. And that'll be linked down below and everywhere podcasts are available. Anyways, thanks for watching and keep writing. I'm a caffeine addict, don't forget that.